And the Derbritic Channel is back, and today we are talking about Lake Oroville in California and the drought that's plaguing the whole United States. In the lower 48s, there's literally two states that are completely unaffected by the drought, and that's Pennsylvania and Maine. Every other state has some sort of drought one way or another. We'll also be talking about Lake Oroville, and let's jump right into it. Here is the national map, and you can see in the next 3 days, very little precipitation across the United States, other than a little bit in Texas, a lot in Florida, a lot over on the west coast in Seattle and Portland, nothing in California to the west, a little bit in New York State still from that lake effect. We go to the next 5 days and you get a little bit of precipitation right along here in Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, and Tennessee, and the south here is a little bit wet. We go the next 10 days and it kind of lights up a little bit. You have the majority of maybe even a northeaster here possibly coming in the next 10 days, so we'll be watching that as well. We have the west coast here, and this takes us to California, and there is some precipitation that's coming to California. Now, I'm not going to get too crazy about this just yet because it's 10 days out, and the next 5 days there's just nothing here. As you can see, even the GFS reflects that very little precipitation here in the west. From Lake Mead down here, Lake Powell over here, you have this entire area here that's completely dry. Now the next 10 days it does light up some. Now, will this come to pass? This is a GFS we're looking at. They're calling for a big heavy swath here in California, which they're definitely going to need. You're going to see in the lake levels here in a minute. We'll be talking about that here in just a sec. We go to the snow depth. It's going to be fairly warm in the next 10 days, so this could be a rainmaker, and this over here will be a snowmaker for sure. So rain accumulation in the next 10 days here on the GFS, you're talking anywhere between 1.68 all the way here to 1.85, and the GFS takes it all the way down to my friends in Bakersfield, 0.22 inches potentially coming. So let's hope the GFS is correct, because they definitely need a lot of precipitation, especially right through here through the central part of California, and then over here in Colorado as well. You're talking 0.61, and even a little bit of precipitation in Las Vegas, 0.2, not a whole lot, but a little bit. St. George, 0.14, Kanab, 1.3, Page over here, 0.6. So that's what you have going on in the United States. This will definitely be a good help for the Mississippi River if this comes to pass. We are going to play this by ear because it's a long way out, and 10 days is all the way through December already. So we'll see what happens. Now, let's talk about the United States drought. Here is your drought map, and you can see that the whole United States is affected one way or another. This is the drought intensity. The whole United States definitely in this one way or another. Every state is in it. We go to the soil moisture map, and you can see that very little moisture in it. We go to moisture anomalies, and you can see how dry it is, especially right here along the Ohio River. This is why the Mississippi River is very low, very, very low as far as that goes. So not a good situation. And I want to go to here's NOAA's map of what's going on. As I stated before, most of New York, most of Pennsylvania, and a lot of West Virginia is completely not affected by the drought, but every other state one way or another has. Maine is the other one in the lower 48. Florida, majority of it's pretty wet. However, right through here is completely dry. Now there's a little sliver by St. Louis here that's completely wet. That's completely fine. The eastern part of Michigan is starting to get abundantly dry. Most of Iowa was completely in the drought, and then we got from the west coast all the way to Indiana is just completely a mess as far as moisture goes. Very little spots here and there, but for the most part this is not a good situation. Even Colorado is abundantly dry, and of course the west is very dry, so we need some precipitation. Texas still a mess down here, even though they received some rains recently. The year-long drought has continued to hamper that, and the Mississippi just keeps getting worse and worse, as we talked about. Let's go up and talk about Lake Oroville. Lake Oroville, so if you were pointed out in one of my previous videos that the winter pool has to get to 640, so that's why they're releasing so much water right now. They're trying to get to 640 that they have to get to. By what date does that winter pool start? That I don't know. If any of you guys know, please comment down below and let me know. Lake Oroville's water level is currently 663.20 feet MSL. This is Sunday, November 20th, 2022 at 3 p.m. The level is 236.80 feet below full pool. 900. Changes since yesterday. This thing has come down a half a foot in the last 24 hours, so it continues to fall. They're really producing the power. Earlier in the year, they were not so much, and we will see if this thing comes up like it always does in April, May, and usually it starts to rise around December, so we will see. We're getting closer and closer to December. It's already November 20th. This November, we're almost to the end of the year. We are 41 days away from the end of the year already. Let's go over to Lake Shasta next. Lake Shasta is currently 918.10 feet MSL. Sunday, November 20th, 2022 at 3 p.m. The level's 148.90 feet below full pool of 1,067. Changes since yesterday, 0.19 feet. And they don't have no winter pool, so they just maintain what they have. And now we're going to go down to Folsom Lake next and see what's going on there. Lake Folsom's water level is currently 379.36 feet MSL. Sunday, November 20th, 2022 at 3 p.m. The level was 86.64 feet below full pool of 466 feet. Changes since yesterday. This thing continues to fall. We are almost as low as we were last year. We're getting close. We are within 9 feet, and with it falling 0.24 feet, unless we get a lot of precipitation and fast, this is going to continue to fall also. So this is very, very bleak and not a good situation. What a difference 5 months makes. June 2nd, we were at 455 feet, and today we're at 379.36 feet. Just an insane amount of droppage. They just let water go. This lake does fluctuate a lot, as you can see. I will turn on all these extra ones, and you can see how much this thing fluctuates. It's constantly fluctuating. So it seems like the last few years they have released a lot more than they did in years past, especially in 2019 and 2017. They released way less than what they are currently, but these have been dramatic decreases, and it seems very, very intentional. I'm not sure what their reasonings are, but this thing does come up and go down fairly quickly, as you can see, especially here in 2017. It went way down, came way up, went back down, back up, back up, back up, down, up. So this thing fluctuates quickly. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video. We will see you on the next one. God bless.